Good afternoon and welcome along to Past the Post. Another very busy week here in the UAE. 3 predominantly thoroughbred fixtures with 2 more at Maidan and 1 here at Jebel Ali. It's week 3 of the Dubai World Cup Carnival, the feature race there, the Zabeel Mile, and we're going to start with Laura reviewing that meeting.
Plenty of bang for your buck if you're coming racing here at Maidan this evening. 8 races courtesy of the sprint, which has been divided, which gives us, in my opinion, the most interesting races on the card. It's over 1,200 metres, takes place as race 1 and race 8, and we've got an Australian in each, the first runners from Down Under since 2019. It'll be fascinating to see how He's a Bolter and Parsifal get on there. The official features are probably the least interesting races of the night. Real World should just win the Group 2 Zabeel Mile, and Shahama has very little standing in her way that will prevent her notching a classic success in the 1,000 guineas. Let's start with one of those interesting sprints then. The first one was officially a consolation race for the second one, but it attracted an international cast, with runners from the UK, France, Ireland and the pride of Adelaide, He's a Bolter. Spurred on by enthusiastic owner Anthony Pinozzo, He's a Bolter ran a belter under jockey Caitlin Jones, hitting the front but not able to hold off Batwan, who powered home under Mikel Barcelona to grab the win by a neck.
Toward the final 200 metres, Durandel is the leader, Batwan, and He's a Bolter runs a big race towards the far side. Even Malik, the black cap, trying to have a go as well. He's a Bolter, Batwan nearest us. They run down to the wire, and Batwan nose to the lead and won.
It was a third success in Dubai for remarkable trainer Nicola Colliery, with a horse he bought from Claimers. You're so good at winning races here. What's the secret?
Yeah, Dubai, it's a perfect for us. We love Dubai. We come every year, and when you win in Dubai, it's always a pleasure.
And even more impressive because this is quite a new horse for you.
Yeah, we had him for not a very long time, and it was quite. We came here as to have pleasure to start with and try to make a good performance. It's like a little dream for the owners because they wanted to come here and win. So I think the first thing is done. Yeah. So now we hope to be able to go to the big races.
So you're hoping for an invitation eventually to the Al Khor Sprint, I suppose.
Yeah, exactly. It's a dream, but the dream is not finished. Donc, keep going now.
While we're sprinting, let's show you the second division, which kept its listed status. Last year it was won by Man of Promise, who missed his intended reappearance due to a temperature. No matter, he won anyway, allaying any of William Buick's fears that he might be on the wrong one, with a comprehensive 2.5 length win over Lajulai.
It's Man of Promise who holds a 2-length lead, getting past the 200. Lazuli's on the chase. They follow by Parsifal. Hardem is next best, but it's Man of Promise with the race at the scruff of the neck over Lazuli, and Man of Promise beats Lazuli. Third, Hardem.
Man of Promise's win was a 4th on the night for Godolphin, who unleashed a real star in the feature. The Group 2 Zabeel Mile has been in existence since 2007. Amazingly so, Vince Rohr's only won it twice. You've got to go back to 2012 for the last time he won this race, but that is about to change because he sends out Real World here, a horse who didn't really fall in love with Maidan when we saw him last year. He was beaten 4 times on the dirt. Then he went back to Europe, won 4 races in a row. He is unbeaten on the turf. Saeed has consistently said that this horse looks so good physically. He's really improved in himself, and I can really see that. He's going to take the world of beating because, to be honest, there isn't a great deal of depth to this race. It was classy stuff from Real World. It was in a safe pair of hands, with Danny Tudhope replacing the isolating Frankie Dettori. Al Farik battled hard in second, but was no match for the winner, who loomed large along the rail and charged home 2.5 lengths ahead of the chasing pack.
Here's Real World being produced, let loose, 1.5 lengths in front. Path of Thunder, 1 ruler, then towards the outside we find Al Farik, but it's Real World with an exclamation mark on top in the Zabeel Mile. Second goes to Al Farik.
It was a 5th straight win for Real World, who is as adept at winning races as his trainer is at evading tricky questions. The legendary handler keeping all options open for his latest stable star.
He's improving horse. After when he won at Royal Ascot, then York, then also before that in Newbury, then we take him to France. The art meeting, he won Group 2, bring him back here, give him time. As a horse, this is a first race for him, but he's look from horse all the time, and we start with him a mile this time, just to make him ready for the races coming.
And where are the races coming? You're going to go to Saudi for the turf or the dirt?
Well, we keep the options open. I mean, he won in the turf, and his form is really good, but also the tribute will suit him as a 9 furlongs in Saudi. Then also there is races for him here in Dubai, Super Saturday, but we'll talk to the Sheikh Mohammed, we'll make a decision. Then also for the World Cup meeting night, we will see which one going to be as we'll see which one going to be a Bay World Cup or another race for him in the turf.
You've trained so many very good horses. How good do you think this one is? Is he a Group 1 winner in waiting?
As early of when he was 3 years old, he wasn't ready physically. Even last year when he came to Dubai, we ran him here, he's still weak. But then we take him back to Newmarket with time since when he starts running there, and exactly in June, Royal Ascot, you can see he changed. And mentally he was sweating actually before the races, and he wasn't relaxed. But then he improved him after that. After when we take him to France, I see him good, and we use hood for him before the race, keep him calm. That's also helped him. Even tonight he was relaxed. That's a good sign from him from last 2 races.
Back to the Blue Fest and more Charlie Appleby. The absent trainer sending out Star Safari for a 4th course win in the listed Zabeel turf. Ridden by Buick, the 6-year-old left it late enough, but showed a good turn of foot to mug long-time leader Maurice Diamond in the shadow of the post.
250 up, Maurice Diamond, Erzincan. Then comes Dubai Mirage, Star Safari now starts to wind up towards the far side. Erzincan goes up to join Maurice Diamond, all the while Star Safari gets on terms and bursts clear. Star Safari will get out of trouble and win. Second Maurice Diamond, then came Erzincan.
The first leg of the Appleby treble was in the night's longest race, the 2,810-metre Al Khail Trophy. Yet another race named after part of the map. Siskani was having his first run here and first over this trip, but put a couple of defeats behind him in fine style, bolting up by 5.5 lengths from Jamie Osborne's Alignac, who has now run 2 good races in defeat.
Siskani towards the inside, gives some sight, then comes Dubai Future, still 3 lengths off the leader, but Siskani goes for him and burst away in a big way. Volcanic Sky, Kamari, Dubai Future and Alignac all queuing up for minor money here. One-way traffic, Siskani 4 lengths in front and is going to win this with authority. Siskani much too good. Second goes to Alignac, then third Volcanic Sky.
It was the first Carnival winner of the season for James Doyle, who seemed pleasantly surprised at how well Siskani saw out the trip.
Pretty pleased with him. Kind of surprised really how well he stayed tonight. It was a bit of a question mark coming into it, but Charlie said don't ride him nice and handy, kind of no excuses. We know at this distance they never really go an end-to-end gallop, so we knew as long as we got a good pitch, close pitch from that easy draw down the inside, nice and close, and if the gaps kind of came, which was only a little bit of a tricky moment on the home turn, the leader kind of stopped and just trying to shimmy past it, but once we got past, he really excelled in the straight, and yeah, he kind of showed us, like, he won very nicely in a handicap at Newmarket, and he looked like a potential group horse, and we did run him at Newbury in a Group 3, and I don't know whether it was the ground that day or what, he just seemed to over-travel a bit and then just got stuck in the ground, and it really wasn't his best. And then he backed up in a listed race at Kempton before he came out here, and still the same, just a little bit disappointing. So maybe this is the key, going over a bit further maybe.
Let's go to the dirt, and 2 races which couldn't be won by Godolphin. One of them was a 1,400-metre rated conditions event, which Doug Watson had marked on the calendar a while back for Mubashara. Such careful planning is one of the trademarks of the 7-time champion trainer, and it didn't let him down here. Dane O'Neill riding the perfect waiting race on the grey, who nevertheless did have to work a little to wear down the game Island Rule.
Island Rule goes for home, Mubashara second. Then comes Duca de Como, Muhiba's out of the pack. Then comes Desert Doctor, nothing to come from Desert Safari. Here comes Mubashara, gets alongside Island Rule. Mubashara's got momentum, got ahead of steam, will be hard to stop, and Mubashara will score. Second to Island Rule, Muhiba's third. Desert Doctor, Imperial Empire.
Mubashara is now 2 from 3 in Dubai. But now his connections have a quandary. Few 1400-metre races mean a change in trip.
I thought Dane gave him a really, really good ride there. Took his time on him. A bunch of horses went around him. He didn't panic and had the horse underneath of him, and very nice win for him.
I know you've got a little bit of pondering to do with the Shadwell team. Do you go up in trips? Do you go down in trips? It's a difficult one.
Yeah, we'll talk to Dane afterward, and he kind of thought he was thinking up, walking back in, but let's just see how he comes out of it, and we'll see what's coming up ahead for him and go that way.
He's had a lovely, steady career with you so far. You've taken things very slowly with him.
We got him late last year, and then we ran him on the last day, and same trip, 7 furlongs, and he ran a great race. I think he carried 62, and Bocard at the time had, we were giving him like 5 kilos, and he only got beat a couple lengths, and so we knew we had something pretty nice. And then, pointing to the race we went to the first time, and this one looked like it suited him right after that. Needs a little time in between racing, and but really solid horse.
Doug's win cancelled out the one earlier for his main title rival, Bupat Sima, who took the new graduate race with Discovery Island. A 600,000 September 20 purchase, he was given a clever ride by Tygo Shea, who set sail early to catch the pace-duelling Desert Wisdom and Eastern World, getting there by a neck.
But Desert Wisdom goes past Eastern World. Discovery Island continues to run his race towards the outside. Desert Wisdom, the leader. Discovery Island, though, has a big say. Discovery Island looks the live wire as Desert Wisdom tries to battle back. Discovery Island ridden at the whole way, noses to the lead, and Discovery Island has won.
We've missed the dirt race, which was one of the best, in theory. OK, so with only 6 runners, 3 of whom might belong on turf, there's hardly a vintage renewal of the listed UAE 1000 guineas. Its winner might just be special though. Fauzi Nass's Shahama cruising round under Adre de Vries and taking her record to 3 from 3, with a minimum of fuss.
And Shahama under the hands goes past Minwar, then a few lengths away to Little Aphrodite, a long way back to Hot Pink. Now Shahama asked 1 or 2 more questions, and she is showing her undeniable class. Shahama goes clear by 3. Minwar, admirable run and defeat. They well clear of Little Aphrodite, who's third. Shahama is 3 from 3.
The UAE Oaks looks to be next on the agenda for Shahama, with connections already plotting a possible US summer campaign. That's it for Carnival Night 3. Now over to Stephen at Jebel Ali.
Jebel Ali, very much the meat in the Maidan sandwich this weekend, and as a result the quality has suffered a little bit, no doubt. But there are 1 or 2 opportunities perhaps for horses to cast their claims for the Jebel Ali Stakes and Jebel Ali Sprint a little bit later on in the season, particularly Leading Spirit, who looks a leading fancy in our 5 furlong contest today. Things get underway though with an Arabian Maiden. Ernst Ordell, predictably well represented. He's got 7 of the runners. Has Tygo Shea chosen correctly this week?
Of the 7 Ortel runners, 6 of them finished in the first 8, and they occupied the first 4 placings. Tygo Shea choosing the right one, as AF Mutakafel gained his deserved win after being demoted in the steward's room at the same track back in December.
They get to the final 200 metres and towards the near side, Mutakafel on the far side of Farm. Then we have the blue cap of Yenamus, 3 of them in with a shout into the closing stages, but it's far side of Farm, near side Mutakafel. In the run down to the wire, they far apart, and it's Mutakafel.
It was a tight run thing in the end, but AF Mutakafel just held on, racing pretty much alone on the near rail. Work had been done on the surface since the last meeting, and O'Shea was both happy with the win and how the track was riding.
Look, he had the form on his first run. He passed the post in front, but obviously caused interference, and it was the right decision on the day to be reversed. But he was a horse I was always wanting to get back on, and Abu Dhabi last time, it was human error. I was drawn wide, and he jumped well, and I went to drop him in and get some cover, and I disappointed him. I should know by now when you take an Arabian back, you disappoint him. Better off maybe even giving away a bit of ground and going forward, but. We had the stable had a lot in the race, but I said I'd stick with him. You can't get away from course form, and look, I had the rail to help, albeit nothing else really to keep me company. But look, it was difficult to call. I thought I was in front, but it was very tough, and I wasn't looking across that much. But I knew there was out of the corner of my eye there was another Ortel horse.
I know there's been a bit of remedial work done on the track. I know you were always out in front, but a few of them have said it rode all right. What did you think?
Yeah, listen, it rode fine, as you say. I didn't experience any kickback. we came up here yesterday, actually, myself, Richie and Pat Dobbs, and it rode well then. And, you know, obviously, you know, it's mid-season, so they've done extremely well to add some surface and keep racing going. And obviously, the ERA stewards were here yesterday, and everybody gave it a thumbs up. So, you know, we'll know more as the day goes on with the thoroughbreds and dropping in and that, but it certainly rode well. Always rides well when you have a winner.
We were still in maiden company for our second race, this time the thoroughbreds taking over, and Antonio Fresu taking over on El Barrique sparked a return to form as he got off the mark at the fourth time of asking. Having finished second to Durandal on turf on his second start, the form was in the book, and he duly looked a nice prospect in coming clear to win by 2 1/4 lengths.
El Barrique is the one in front by 3. On the near side, Fabrizio does some good late work in trying to chase home, but they get to the closing stages, and El Barrique won. Fabrizio second, and Bar was third.
The third race could be classed as a Jebel Ali Stakes prep of sorts, and that is likely where the winner, Lost Eden, is heading after he drew clear of the 107-rated Algiers to get off the mark in the UAE. It was the first ever winner at Jebel Ali for Andrea Azzini, who was certainly enjoying a nicer experience than had been the case when he last rode Lost Eden.
Past the 300, Algiers, Lost Eden. They go past Irish Freedom, who's dropped into third. A breakaway to Castle Bar. Moodalel's next best. Past the 200, Lost Eden went up, took the lead. Algiers drops into second. Irish Freedom is third. Then comes Castle Bar, but Lost Eden powers away. Lost Eden in front will win this by about 2. Second Algiers, then came Irish Freedom.
Azzini had ended up chewing dirt at Maidan last time when aboard Lost Eden, but the partnership remained firmly intact on this occasion, and the strapping son of See the Stars looks to have a bright future here in the UAE.
Obviously, a Maiden, it was just one of those things. The horse jumped quite nicely, and after sort of 10 steps, he lost his front legs, and he stumbled for a stride, and I fell off him. But luckily nothing happened to the horse as well, and you know, his run beforehand here was actually a good run over a mile when he finished second on his first run here. Over a trip there, probably he is slightly shorter, and obviously they stepped him up to 1,150 metres today, and it was pretty straightforward actually. Travelled quite nicely, and he picked up all the way to the line.
And proven over a mile and a half, he was always going to see it out. He looks a big, strong horse as well for the dirt.
Yeah, he's a big horse. Obviously been by See the Stars, and he actually obviously won twice on the all-weather back in UK. Won at Lingfield very impressively. I know there were 2 novices, but he did it quite easily. So he obviously likes it here, and he gets the trip very well, and he's a big galloper.
What do you make of the track? Is it your first experience? Something a bit different to what you've experienced before?
I've ridden it before. I'd say it's probably about 10 years ago. I never rode a winner. This is obviously my first winner here, which is great. It's nice, and to come here and ride a winner for the boss, Sheikh Mohammed Obeid, I'm sure he'll be watching from home.
Our fourth race is only a handicap, but it could be a prep for the Jebel Ali Sprint. It's a race run over the same course and distance, and the horse of some interest here, although returning from a long absence, is horse number 2, Thamin, the grey horse there. He's had 680 days off the track since we last saw him. Did finish second in the Jebel Ali Sprint back in February 2020, where he was behind Al Karama. That horse is also in the lineup, but the one they could have to beat might be Leading Spirit. He's drawn well in stall 1 and finished second over 1,200 metres last time, just losing out on stamina late in the day.
Leading on the rail wasn't as favoured this week, with the track having undergone that remedial work, so Leading Spirit couldn't dominate, and that left the way clear for Al Karama to get his head back in front, setting him up nicely for another tilt at the Jebel Ali Sprint.
Into the final 300 metres, Al Karama went past Leading Spirit, who's forced to battle back. Then comes Fanar, who's out in third. Rich and Famous in the lighter blue. Al Karama sped away, went a length and a half clear. Leading Spirit and Fanar left in second. It's Al Karama in the lead. Here's Fanar diving up late, but Al Karama just timed it right.
The fifth contest saw Bupat Seymour chip in with a winner, as Lady Snaz won for the second time at the track this season. The Zabeel handler also had the second for good measure, with Tapitushin chasing her home.
Tapitushin black and white, Attribution light blue, then comes Lady Snaz, who scrambles to get on terms and is now built up, and it's Lady Snaz who picks up the lead. Second place is Tapitushin, then comes Annie Zar. Lady Snaz draws away, Lady Snaz wins. Second Tapitushin, Annie Zar.
The yard of Salem bin Gidea have edged back to form over the last couple of weeks, and that was never more evident than in the final two races. First up was Down Under Bayo, who is a mare thriving at present, and she had few issues in making it 2 course wins for the season when making all in the mild conditions race. Perhaps there was some questionable opposition in behind, with the 70 rated Aridity giving her 2 kilos and chasing her home, but this was a very easy victory. The mare is down to win by 5.5 lengths.
Down Under Bayou shows no signs of stopping. Down Under Bayou is clear by about 5, and it's going to be an absolute rout. Down Under Bayou, much too good, comes away and wins that in good style. Second goes the way of Aridity, then came El Macabre, Gareth was next.
Royston French had the luxury of a leisurely final furlong, and is now hoping bin Gidea steers the mare towards the Jebel Ali Mile in a couple of weeks' time.
She's come to hand real nice, she's had a couple of winners and ran well at Maidan last time, so I think she's back to her old self.
It was difficult when they win those classics as 3-year-olds, so that's helped. But it is a mile properly her trip as well now, do you think?
Yes, it is, yes. She's got natural speed, but, she stays a mile out well. Obviously, she has won over further, but for me, her best trip is a mile.
I know there's the Balanchine perhaps at Maidan, but you'd be telling Salem to come here for the Jebel Ali Mile now?
If it was for me, my choice, yes. But that's the boss's choice.
Royston wasn't done for the day, as he chose correctly in the finale, with Lamoum leading home a 1-3 for the stable. Tactiques was the meat in the bin Gidea sandwich, but had to give best to the winner late on, who was scoring for the second time over course and distance.
Honourable Justice up the far side, Lamoum nearest us in front of Tactiques, then Honourable Justice, Lamoum forced to work, but Lamoum has won. Second Tactiques, then came Honourable Justice.
The first feature race of the season takes place the next time we race at Jebel Ali, the Group 3 mile highlighting their card on the 12th of February. Back to Maidan now, and Michael Adolphson.
We're here at Maidan on a sunny Sunday afternoon. 7 races today, kicking off at 2:30 p.m. As you can see, I'm enjoying a nice suntan. It's going to be a nice day. We got the crowd pouring in. Co-features today are 12 furlongs and 5 furlongs on the grass. Looking forward to it. Let's see how it works out. The first of the features was a stamina test over 12 furlongs in which Autumn Pride made all under a smooth Bernardo Pinheiro ride. National Stables continued its run of recent positive form in the process, and Pinheiro won his 14th of the season, putting him in 5th place overall. Mysteryland, loving the stretch out and trip, was a good second under Richie Mellon.
But Autumn Pride off a lightweight continues to bang away up front. It's Autumn Pride, Mysteryland, the slow starter out of the pack, lunging towards the inside, but Autumn Pride led the whole way.
Perhaps the most impressive performance of the day was Dahawi, who stamped himself as a Carnival candidate with a rather facile victory in the 5 furlong co-feature.
Now Dahawi puts his best foot forward. Thunder of Niagara towards the inside shows some cheek. They followed by Tashabo and Rahi, but it's Dahawi in the lead, holds a 1-length advantage. Thunder of Niagara second, trying to come back, but Dahawi wins. Dahawi wins again over Thunder of Niagara.
Ridden with confidence, he completed a double undercard for trainer Musaba Al-Mahari and jockey Antonio Frezu. The first part of that came in the day's opener, in which Frezu piloted Namrud, bolted to the front, and never looked back. The purebred Arabian at one point opened up a 12-length lead on the field and eventually won by 9.5 at the wire.
But Namrud has dominated each and every yard, and Namrud is going to come away to win this by close to double figures. Taya Atbar ran on nicely at the end of the day to go past the rest, but he was best of the rest, and Namrud commanded.
A Shadwell Arabian Sale graduate, he gave owner Ahmed bin Tuk Al-Mari a nice consolation prize after his Minwa was second in the Guineas on Friday. Speaking of sophomore fillies, Shadzadi was a one-sided winner of the 7 furlong maiden. The daughter of American Grey Tunwear Al Kabir, who stands in Ireland, gave Irishman Tygo Shea a leading 39th victory of the season.
Shadzadi with a 4-length lead, getting into the final 100 metres. Shadzadi got this race well and truly under control. Shadzadi wins, nobody's joke second, then Remas in third. Arabian Gazelles ran past a few.
Jebel Ali Stables' return to form continued in the mile maiden, in which Takti took the overland route to victory under Dubai World Cup winning jockey Fernando Hara. While runner-up Ben Malik returned to form, it was Jebel Ali's first flashy string Al-Sim who caught the eye. The son of Liam's Map missed the break under Richie Mellon and flew home to finish third by a length.
It's Taqdeed who picks up the lead. Makashi second. Lake Causeway. Ben Malik staying on towards the outside. Taqdeed holds sway. Alzim is out of the pack, trying to make a late impact, but Taqdeed will make it stick. Second Ben Malik, third Alzim.
Another grey landed in the good graces of public in the form of the likeable Shanty Star, who won the 7 furlong dirt handicap under Richie Mullen. It was a 1-2 finish for the orange and black of Borsley Racing.
Shanty Star, 1 length. Rayid second, then Tabarak at its outside. Shanty Star holds sway, found a second wind and kicked again. Shanty Star will win. Second goes to Tabarak to lead a Borsley 1-2.
And in the nightcap, American import Scabbard won on local debut for Red Stables and Doug Watson. Fourth in the 2019 Breeders' Cup Juvenile, the multiple graded stakes place son of More Than Ready was claimed for a bargain $20,000 in September by David Burnson and sent to Red Stables.
Scabbard still in front, still got a 2-length advantage as the race starts to end. Mokarab is second, 0 to 100 third. Scabbard full of merit wins. Second, 0 to 100, third to Mokarab.
Sam Hitchcock was aboard for the win.
Once again, Tygo O'Shea and Antonio Fresu traded blows in the Jockeys' Championship. O'Shea riding a winner at each of the 3 meetings, with Fresu posting a double at Maidan on Sunday to ensure the gap remains a manageable 3 winners, O'Shea on 39 and Fresu on 36. Richie Mullen and Bernardo Pinheiro both notched a success each and remain in the top 5 alongside Pat Cosgrove. It is similarly nip and tuck in the trainers' version. Bupat Seamar just 1 clear of Doug Watson, the latter closing the gap thanks to Scabbard winning the last race of the weekend. Ernst Ortel did just about all he could in winning 50% of the Arabian races to take place this week and remains in touch on 22, with Masaber El Maheri making a solid move onto the 20 winner mark. And the Owners' Championship could yet be more than just a 2-horse race it has looked for much of the season. Khalid Khalifa Al Nabuda and Al Ajban Stables still sit first and second, but Shadwell and Godolphin are both proving relentless in their pursuit, particularly Godolphin, who have 15 winners from 68 runners. A lightweight, dictating a steady pace, and proven stamina were all things that favoured Autumn Pride at Maidan on Sunday. But Bernardo Pinheiro still made a difference in being able to control things from the front, and that proved crucial come the final analysis. He only had half a length to spare at the line, and no doubt that owed a lot to the steady pace Pinheiro was able to set, at various points during the race, opening up a bit of a gap before giving his mount a couple of breathers, and then having enough to kick on again entering the straight. That margin then never relinquished despite the late charge of stablemate Mystery Land. French train runners have had a good carnival so far, and there is every chance Integrant can add to their tally before the season is out. He lined up in the Zabeel turf, and after a slow start, soon found himself poorly positioned out the back. In a race where those ridden more prominently were able to steal a march, Integrant caught the eye in weaving through the field inside the final furlong, eventually finishing 5th and looking a likely contender to step up quite appreciably on this form next time. It is back to all-out racing next weekend, with 4 meetings to look forward to. First up is night 4 of the Carnival at Maidan, with round 2 of the Maktoum Challenges for thoroughbreds and Arabians. The Balanchine and Firebreak are also group races to take place on the card. Al Ain stages an all-Arabian fixture on Saturday. We head back to HQ on Sunday, and then Abu Dhabi hosts the first round of the Arabian Triple Crown on Monday. Thank you for joining us on Past the Post this week. Plenty to look forward to next week as the Carnival really gathers pace, including the possible UAE debut of World Cup second favourite Hot Rod Charlie. Join us next Tuesday at 6 p.m. to find out how he got on. Goodbye for now.